Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian crosses, and starting with the Aussie New Zealand, and we're looking for a long trade here, and we've just got to be prepared on both sides here. So as I mentioned before, if we get a break above these highs here, then go long. Otherwise we'll expect an A and a B and a C, and I'm thinking back onto this trend line here, but it is possible for it to drop into this box here at the 50-60% retracement level. I suggest that we'll keep an eye on the Australian dollar as well, with the Aussie US, and look at that, see when that pushes to the upside as well. Okay, so with that in mind, we'll have a look at the Australian US here, and not a significant change here. What we were looking for was a wave 2 correction here, and wave 2s tend to be sharp and simple, and like this one here, for instance, it's very sharp and simple, and looking for an ABC within all of that. And I've drawn it out here as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, as we talked about yesterday for wave 2, and that's possible, but it's also possible that all of wave 2 is tied up within this first leg here as well. The safer, we'll look at that in a moment, but the safer trade here with all of this really is finding support on 72 and trading long from that point. Now, of course, it would be nice to get some positions, lower, in the box, basically. So I think that, whatever you think that you are going to trade long in this, then, cut that into quarters and try and build those 4 quarters, in from the 61.8 retracement level. It's, they're down at this 70-50 sort of area, all the way up through here, but we need to allow this to resolve first here. So let's just go into the 15-minute chart here and have a look at that first leg down. It does sort of pan out as wave 1 and 2 and 3, typical fourth here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the fifth wave here, for wave A, and then B here, and then 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. Or still could be another one in here. I think I may have made a little mistake in here. Not that it's a humongous mistake, but 3, 4, and then 5 down here. Let's get that out of the way there. So basically a bounce off 71 back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which will be here, and then wave 5 coming down. So it possibly could end at 71 here. It's not a very, I suppose, it's possible for this. So we'll re-examine this tomorrow, and we'll see what other markets are doing and so on. But it might just come down, just a tad below this and not get down to this 50 down through here. Let's just allow it to finish first, and then we'll pick up the thread from there. Okay, the Aussie yen is much the same as well. Now, I've taken the 50-60% here from the top of this spike here, but the other markets had spikes too. The Aussie US, we just go back there for a moment and just have a look at its spike, say this spike here. So we didn't really pay any attention to this spike here on this one. We just stayed with the sort of flow of all of this through here for counting waves. I'm not an emu and putting my head in the ground. Obviously, this is, it's a spike, and it does what it does, and positive and minus and all the rest of it. But you just got to be a little bit philosophical when it comes to counting this situation here. So what I mean by that is that it's quite probable that this is the fifth wave here, and we've got an A and a B and a C wave to here, but not that it makes much difference either, because I can put that there or there. We're still looking at the flow of this one here. So an A and a B and the C wave down here. So this could be quite helpful too in determining the Australian US one as well. So perhaps we'll pull this one apart or you could pull it apart and see if you can find 5 waves from that high down to here, wherever it may be. And once that starts to turn up, then because this hasn't moved back down as far as the Aussie US, so it's kind of stronger in a little way, but this particular wave structure up here, not very happy with it really in terms of an impulse wave. Yes, it's there and we can count it like it is and so on, but in fact this wave 1 here could actually be here as well, in this instance as well. Here then we'll have 1 and 2 and 3 A, B, C for the 4th, or even to the 4th here, an A and a B and a C here for the 4th, and then the 5th here. So that's all doable as well, and that's probably a better count actually, but anyway, let's just allow this to resolve here. The Euro Aussie pretty much on track here too, so it's, you know, it's quite messy here, you know, until we get a very sort of clean, clear sort of breach of any move to the upside here, something like that, then we just got to kind of keep guessing where the low is a little bit, and I've got it as the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 coming down here, and I guess it could certainly drop down into here and kind of expect that to do that. We just don't have that nice clean break from a low to a new high yet, well, a high above a previous high. So that's what we're sort of waiting for here. And the pound's much the same as well, except it hasn't sort of resolved very nicely on its low here, and I've just left it as we were talking about it before. So it's got its spike in there, but it only gives us an A, B, and C to this point here. It doesn't really give us a 5-wave structure here. So it's kind of telling me that it's corrective here. So I'm a little bit sort of concerned about that. But that might be all right. We may end up with a truncated 5th wave here in something like this here, and then an impulse wave moving up through here. I just don't want to go there just yet, and I don't particularly... I can't see another way around this. The only other way around this is that this wave B is over here, and then this is here, and then this is here, and we start building from that point, and that's sort of viable too here. I guess at the end of the day is that it's not really clear on where we're at with this because of this sort of pattern here. We could start to look at other ways to handle this problem in terms of the 61.8%. Normally when a market sort of finds the 61.8% as the support, in this case here, then it makes life a little bit easier to work with. But in the same instance, if this is you know, this could be an A wave and a B wave and a C wave and just fail from here. Otherwise, it will pull back to the 50-60% mark here, and then we pick it up from there. So let's just assume that that we're going to get a high at we're going to get a high at 218 here. So we could do that, and then we could look at the retracement level here. So that's where we can kind of expect it to pull back to after it moves to the 18 here. So it's quite possible that we get to that point there, and then what we'll have to do is we'll have to see if we get this move here in a 3 clear wave structure. If we do get that, then we can look to start building in on the long side here, okay? But we'll need to wait for that first. So that's, in a long-winded story that I've just given, that's kind of the solution that we would have to go for. It's no use chasing this, and yes, it could go higher than all this, but it will, if it's 5 waves, it will fold back. It's just a matter of, will it fold back into this space, or will we see you know, a move sort of down like this with it here. So we do need for this to resolve here. This is the pound Aussie, sorry, yes. So you should be able to pick things up just from the price alone if a market interests you. There, so we'll just save that. And it's pretty much it, really. We'll just have a look at this. This is the Bitcoin here, just the daily Bitcoin, and we'll make that a little bit larger while I'm here. And we'll put that, just trying to get a bit of order into the charts and improve them all the time. We'll save that. But yeah, look, we're not interested in trading even this wave 5 down here. What I am interested is finding this low here and taking a longer term position to the upside for this market. And once we do start coming down here, we'll backtrack and check our wave count again, okay? But as it stands, from this wave 3 to this wave 4 here, whichever way you look at this here, it's a corrective pattern. So we'll make new lows below here. And it could just do it from here, but you know what wave 4s are like. They can just do your head in. So it would really need to mature to do anything from this point. But I think there's better markets to trade. But all the same, we're expecting this to move down lower from here. And yeah, and while we're here, we'll just have a, not that we're doing much with it at the moment, is the is this market here, the one. It's pulled back 38.2%, so I can just remove that. And yeah, so we're just looking, it may not have even finished yet, but like I said to you when it first arrived here, we're not interested in it just yet. Maybe I'll pull it apart here and we can pick a long trade out of it, but I just don't think that you know, it's normally wave 3 that hits the level, so that would leave sort of wave 5 to here, and but that's just too small as well from there. It may be worthwhile picking something up from lower down here. I'll have a bit of a look at bit of a look at that, but certainly want that to mature down here. But it's a very strong case for further upside, but we are seeing a stronger US dollar, and the US dollar is going to continue to get stronger as well. So anyway, let's just allow this to mature. I just don't want to get into the guessing game too early in regards of a reaction from a medium level or from a particular price point as such. All right, cheers.